Okay guys, so I wanted to do a review of the Eton Microlink FR160. It's a solar and crank powered radio and flashlight. It also has this port for headphones and for a USB. You're supposed to be able to charge like a cell phone or something on it, but I haven't tried it out because I heard that it doesn't work well on smartphones, and I don't have a regular, like an old cell phone that you can make emergency calls on. I want to get one, but I'm not really sure where I can go. I didn't save any of my old ones, so I don't know. I'm still looking into that. It's a cool feature, but you have to pretty much crank the whole time, so you'd have to have somebody cranking while you're making the call, is what I've heard. So, and that's kind of annoying, but I mean, that's part of it. It's for emergencies, so you wouldn't just get this just to charge your cell phone. It cranks really easy. You can go pretty fast. You know, you get pretty good at it. The flashlight works really well. That's pretty much what I use it for. It's really bright, as you can see. I use it a lot when I go camping because it doesn't take batteries, so you're not wasting money on batteries because batteries are really expensive. It has AM, FM, and weather band, which is nice. Listen to the weather in your area, especially when you're camping or hiking. It's really light, probably not more than 2 pounds, if that. I used it to the radio. I just set it in the sun, pulled out the antenna, and set it to my station. And while I was cooking around the fire, or whatever, gave some nice entertainment to a bunch of us while we were camping. So that was nice. And it when it's starting to die, like you need to crank it or it needs sun power, the volume turns down. Well, and obviously the higher your volume, the more power you use. So you know. And so the volume just starts to die down when the power is starting to die. So then you can turn it off and crank it or set it in the sun again for a while, and it will work right up. So it's pretty awesome. I would highly recommend it. It's not cheap. I think it was like 30 bucks. But definitely for emergencies, you need to have a crank flashlight. I also wanted the radio part for the weather and just for some entertainment, especially in a storm. You're not going to be able to get TV or anything if the power's out. And then, if you run out of batteries or you have to buy a bunch of batteries, that can get expensive to have on hand. So I really like that. You can get the just the crank flashlight for 10-15 bucks, so you might as well spend another 10 bucks and get something that's going to work. And I don't think those are that bright because my parents have one of those and it's not this bright. And I think it's harder to crank. This crank is pretty easy. I don't know, the only issue you would have with the crank is breaking it because it's plastic, but I really don't think, I've used this quite a bit and I don't know if you could break that. I mean, this knob part right here, that might break off, but you would still be able to crank it without it. So, I mean, I don't know. That might be an issue if you're, really bearing down on it, but I don't think it will be. It's nice because it's red, so you're always going to be able to see it if you set it down in the bush or whatever. The speaker actually gets pretty loud. It's only the one speaker. But there were 4 of us camping. We were all by ourselves, in the corner of a campground, and it worked just fine, and we could all hear it, and I didn't even have it up all the way. Did use the weather band, so that was awesome. I would highly recommend something like this. When it's charging, when it's getting sunlight, this little light by the battery turns on, it's green. That's kind of nice. If you're on the weather band goes green, and when you're trying to tune, you have to use this dial here, and it'll tell you when it lights up green when you're on a clear station. Wish this was digital, but that takes up more power. So, it is kind of nice, pros and cons with everything. The biggest thing that I love is that I sit this puppy in my window of my apartment so that the light shines on it. Put it next to my nightstand. If the power goes out in the middle of the night, whatever, and I need a flashlight, it's right there. I know it's going to be charged up, if it's not charged up, throw on a couple quick cranks, and it'll work for, you know, a few seconds, if not up to a minute. It says on the box, I think if you, like even right now, I'm like 4 feet from a window and it's charging solary, or by the solar cell. So, I mean, this puppy charges from distances. But I think it said if you crank for 90 seconds, the the flashlight will work for 90 minutes. I mean, the radio is harder to judge because it depends on what volume you're on. But I would definitely invest in at least some type of radio that's solar charged and flashlight. Obviously, it's nice that it's all in one. But if you got two separate things, that would be fine as well. I did not find anything. I did a lot of research before I bought this because it's a purchase for me. It's a big purchase. You know, spending $30 on a flashlight radio is a lot of money that I could have spent on something else. So, you know, like I said, the bigger one, I think that one was like $55, $60, and that had a clock on it. And you could use, and I think it's easier to charge your cell phone on that thing. It has obviously more solar cells on it. I didn't really like the flashlight because it was on the side, and this thing is like bigger and bulkier, and so I didn't like that aspect. And then it also took batteries, and it looked like it was harder to crank just because of the size. So I like the small size for sure. And then like I said, found a couple crank flashlights, but those, you know, they're 10, $15, and it's just the flashlight. So it's worth it to invest in something that's gonna work. I looked at all the reviews, and all the reviews for this thing are pretty good. There's a couple that were mad that the cell phone thing didn't work, but like I said, that's like a backup thing. I didn't buy it for that reason. I bought it mostly for the flashlight, and then the radio with the weather band was really important to me. And then the fact that it takes solar as well. I'm really into solar stuff. I wish I had more solar stuff, solar lamps, solar lanterns, or whatever. That is really going to come in handy. Pretty much any type of disaster where the sun isn't falling out of the sky, your solar stuff's going to work. And if the sun falls out of the sky, we're all dead anyway. So I would invest in some solar gear. You know, they have tons of it out there. Do your research, because some stuff that you might think is a good deal because it's cheaper or whatever, it might be cheaper just because it's crappy. So definitely do your research if you're going to invest in something that you're going to spend some money on. Cheaper is not always better, even though that's pretty much the theory of my channel, is to try and go as cheap as you can. But this is, for the money, this is the best thing I could find for cheap. You know, $30. It's not cheap, but, you know, compared to $60, $80, $100, you know, they have these big solar coolers that, you know, do everything under the moon. You know, you want something good, you want something small, something reliable, and something that works. And definitely try it out. Use it, you know, go camping, go hiking, whatever, so that you know the little quirks of it. You know, like when the volume starts to go down, then you know it's dying. Certain things you can test it out, you know. I've dropped it a couple times. No damage at all, not even to the shell. It's pretty nice, actually. The shell, it looks pretty snazzy. And, of course, it's got the American Red Cross emblem on there. But anyway, so yeah, I just thought you guys might be interested in this. I've seen a couple videos on reviews of these, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents, and I definitely think that everybody out there should have a solar or crank-powered flashlight and or radio. It's important in any bug-out, bug-in, you know, severe weather, natural disaster, I mean, anything. They're going to have the news on here. They're going to have the weather on here. You're going to have light. Oops. You know, pretty much whenever you need it, because all you got to do is crank this bad boy. Kids can run it. Really easy. It's good to have, you know, one in your kids' room, one in your room type deal. For those power outages. It always seems like whenever I had a flashlight growing up, whenever we actually needed it, the batteries were dead. and then you had to go find batteries without a flashlight, which isn't fun in the dark. So, you know, I definitely think that this is worth the money. So all you people who don't have a crank or solar powered anything right now, go out and get one of these, or go out and at least get a flashlight. You always need light when it's dark out if you want to find something, whatever. I even use this to dig through, my side drawer by my bed, so I don't wake up anybody to turn on the big light, or I don't have to get out of bed or whatever if I want to just look for something quick. It's perfect. And like I said before, I used it in like camping. If you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I lay it by the side of my blow up mattress or the side of my bed where I'm sleeping, or just somewhere in the tent. It works great. I didn't trip or fall on any sticks, whatever. It's great. So definitely recommend it. Let me hear your comments if you like me to do reviews on stuff that I get or not, or if you have anything in particular that you'd want me to do a review on, or anything that you guys are interested in want me to do a video on. Just throw me a comment, and I'll definitely look into it. So thanks for watching.